Hi and welcome to standing isometric six-pack training. In between the exercises I'm going to read something about the Eustachian Valve, and participating in the exercises is at your own risk, and the Eustachian Valve has to do with the blood system, so I'm going to talk a lot of the time we have about the Eustachian Valve and about the blood system. That's what I think of it. The first exercise, just a warm-up exercise, which is not isometric. We are breathing in and out and in and out. In and out, and one more round, in and out. Now we're breathing in, closing the legs, and we can start with the first exercise. We're having a standing leg. The other leg comes up into a right angle with a flexed foot. We have even aligned hips, but a bit higher on one side. We are straight up, and we're pressing with the hand against the knee. The elbow is not completely straight, so I have a little bend in the elbow and press with quite a lot of force. Right angle with the leg, a flexed foot, even aligned hips, straight up with the back, a little bend in the elbow, and keep pressing with quite a lot of force. Keep a straight back, even aligned hips, and quite a lot of force. And it was the first side. So the first bullet point of the Eustachian Valve. The inferior vena cava is a vein coming through the abdomen up to the heart. So the inferior vena cava goes from here through the abdomen up to the heart. The inferior vena cava delivers blood from the lower part of the body up to the heart to a place called right atrium. So the heart has 4 chambers, and there's right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle, and the inferior vena cava delivers the blood up to the right ventricle of the heart, like this. And on the other side, again, a good standing leg, up with the leg, right angle in the leg, flex foot, even aligned hips, tall up, and we're pressing from the top against the knee with quite a lot of force. Even aligned hips, tall up, and keep pressing with quite a lot of force. And keep pressing, tall up, even aligned hips, and keep pressing quite a lot of force. Tall up, even aligned hips. Not a completely straight elbow. And a little longer. And we're done. The Eustachian valve is at the end of the inferior vena cava, at the place where the inferior vena cava enters the right atrium of the heart. So the vena cava comes, and there where this inferior vena cava comes into the right atrium, there is our Eustachian valve. The next exercise, having the legs standing wide apart, and we're going into quarter squat, and we're pressing with the hand against the upper part of the upper leg with quite a lot of force. Turn up and keep pressing. And we are switching now on the other side, quite a lot of force. And we're switching on, we're going a bit deeper down to half squat, and we're pressing against the middle part. And we're switching. And we're going into 3/4 squat and pressing close to the knee. And a little longer, put effort into it, and we are switching to the other side. And it was the exercise. The circulatory system during pregnancy is different than after birth. So the circulatory system, how the blood flows in the heart, is by an unborn child during pregnancy, different than from humans after birth. The Eustachian valve helps to get blood from the right atrium to the left atrium. The Eustachian valve at the end of the inferior vena cava helps to get the blood from the right atrium to the left atrium. That happens only during pregnancy. After birth it happens differently. The next exercise. Now we're having again a good standing leg. Bring the leg up, right angle, flex foot, even aligned hips, tall up. Now we're pressing from the inside. Again with quite a lot of force. Not a completely straight elbow. Have a little bend in the elbow, tall up, even aligned hips, and keep pressing. Tall up, even aligned hips. And keep pressing, put effort into it. And we are switching. Other leg up, even aligned hips. Right angle with the leg, flexed foot. Tall up, a little bend in the elbow. And keep pressing. Tall up, even aligned hips. And we're done. The Eustachian, yes, helps to come to the right, from the right atrium to the left. The placenta is something connected to the umbilical cord to the unborn human, which provides the unborn with nutrients and oxygen. So during pregnancy there is the placenta, and the placenta delivers through the umbilical cord to the fetus nutrients and oxygen. From the placenta, oxygenated blood comes to the inferior vena cava and into the right atrium of the heart. So from the placenta comes through the umbilical cord, oxygenated blood to the inferior vena cava, and then through the Eustachian valve into the right atrium of the heart. That is all during pregnancy, not after pregnancy. And the next exercise, we're going into half squat, and we are pressing with the hands against the knees, or 3/4 squat, and we're going to the knee. And we're pressing against the knee, going towards the knee. On this other side, we're pressing against the knee, going towards the knee. And one round more. And the last time. And that was the exercise. Something referred to the Foramen Ovale helps to bring the oxygenated blood coming from the placenta over the inferior vena cava from the right atrium to the left atrium. The Foramen Ovale brings the blood through septums which are separating the right and left atrium. So during pregnancy, the right and left atrium are separated by septums, and the Eustachian valve helps to bring the blood with the foramen through the septums between right and left atrium to bring the oxygenated blood which comes from the placenta through the inferior vena cava through the Eustachian valve into the right atrium, and then through with the foramen ovale through the septum separating right and left atrium. And the next exercise is the propeller. We're going down into full squat, arms out to the side, and we're going down to one side and pressing against the leg with one arm, and we're looking up to the other arm. And keep pressing, put effort into it. And we are switching to the other side. And not a completely straight arm. Have a little bend in the elbow. And put effort into it, keep pressing. And we can a bit. Because there is, with the help of a Eustachian valve, at the end of the inferior vena cava, more oxygenated blood in the left atrium. There's also more oxygenated blood in the left ventricle, and from that also in the aorta, the brain and all of the fetus, of the unborn child. And the next exercise, again one leg up, and we're pressing from the outside again all set up, straight back, even aligned hips, flexed foot, right angle of the leg. We're pressing and now bringing the leg to the outside. Not a completely straight arm, have a little bend in the elbow. The other side, leg up, and we are pressing. We are bringing now the leg to the outside. And again. Tone up, even aligned hips, and to the outside. And the last time. To the outside. And the next exercise, we're going into 1990 lunge. And we're pressing with the hand against the inside of the knee. Be tall up. And we're shifting to the other side. turn up, and put effort into it. And we're going again into 1990 lunge, and now we are pulling the leg up. We turn up and pull up. And we're switching to the other side. Turn up and pull into the leg. And switch again. Again 1990. Now we pull in against the knee and we turn up. And we're switching to the other side. Turn up and pull into the knee. And now the last exercise into full lunge. And we're pulling again at the knee. Turn up. And on the other side. Turn up. Pull at the knee. And we're done with the exercises. Now we're stretching the heel on the ground and we're pulling a bit on the toes. And on the other side. And we're coming up, we're bringing the hands up. Legs are standing around shoulder width wide apart, we're bringing in. And out and we're leaning back. And again in. And out and we're leaning back. And then we're closing the legs, putting the hands together and we're breathing in. And out and we're leaning again back. And in. And out we're leaning another time back. And in, and now we're going down. We're stretching both legs. And we're bending one leg. The leg which is straight, are we turning with the heels to the outside. We're going with our body against the direction. And now the toes to the outside, and we're going with our body into the other direction when our toes are pointing. Now with the other leg, the heel out, and we're going with our body against the other direction, which the heel is pointing. And we're switching the toes to the outside, and we're going with our body into the other direction when the toes are pointing. And both legs together, and we're switching both feet together. We are breathing in, and out we're coming up, round back, bringing back the shoulder right up to the top. And we're doing a few breathe again, so breathe in. And again in. And out. In, we're closing the legs and we're done with standing isometric six-pack training. So the inferior vena cava comes up to the heart, and at the point where it enters the right atrium, there's the Eustachian valve. And the Eustachian valve helps to bring the oxygenated blood coming from the placenta into the inferior vena cava through the Eustachian valve into the right atrium, and it helps this Eustachian valve to bring it through the septums between right and left atrium with a Foramen Ovale in the left atrium, and then there's more oxygenated blood in the left atrium, and also more on the left ventricle, and also more in the aorta and the brain and all the parts important of the fetus. After birth it changes, the pressure gets higher in the blood system around us. The blood goes through the pulmonary airflow to the lungs and through the pulmonary vein directly into the atrium. So instead of through the Foramen Ovale, it goes through the pulmonary airflow to the lungs, gets oxygenated, and then back through the pulmonary vein to the left atrium, and from the left atrium through the mitral valve into the left ventricle, and then into the aorta. So that this Foramen Ovale gets closed, and also the Eustachian valve is not used anymore, but it still exists, but it's useless after birth. I thank you very much, and until next time.